Hey, can you guys hear me? Yes, barely. Okay. One sec. How's this? Sounds good, okay. Okay, so tonight is International Observe the Moon Night, which is an event that is hosted by NASA, and I am participating in it. So we're gonna explore the moon tonight. Add the message after welcome back. What about it? Oh, comet was 6.3 magnitude. At what magnitude does something have to be able to be seen with the naked eye? Depends on where you live. So if you're in like a border 1, so like no light pollution at all, it's usually around magnitude 6. But if you're in like a light pollution level like me, I'm in a border 5. I think it's usually around magnitude 3 is when I'm able to see like comets. So something like that. And then if you're in like downtown, then you really can't see much. Probably like magnitude 0 or so. Yeah, no problem. Really, a portal 2 or 3. That would be incredible. Are you able to see the Milky Way at your house, caveman? Okay. So you must be around like a Bortle 6 or 7, I'm assuming. And to be able to see a comet with your naked eye, the comet I believe would have to be around magnitude 1 or 2. So I mean, it's possible. I mean, it might be possible that you will be able to see Comet Lemon whenever it gets at its brightest. But most likely it's only going to be visible through binoculars or a small telescope. Yeah. That'd be a good idea, caveman. You're close to 300 subscribers. Do you guys think I'll be able to do it this stream? That'd be awesome. If I could reach 300 subscribers this stream, I'd really appreciate it. I appreciate that, caveman. I agree, caveman. It's nice that he does those processing streams, but I like his capture streams a lot more. Okay, do you guys want me to do a tour of the moon? Okay, let's do a tour of the moon. So, one second here. Okay, I'm gonna take you guys on a tour of the Apollo landing sites. So we're gonna start off with the first mission, Apollo 11. So we are going to go down here and over here, and Apollo 11 should be roughly here. This is the first Apollo mission on the moon. First time humans were on the moon. They landed roughly in this area. Right around here. Okay, so now we are going to go to the second mission, Apollo 12, which... Okay, so Apollo 11 landed in the Sea of Tranquility. So, this is the Sea of Tranquility right here. Now we're going to go over here to Apollo 12, which landed... So we're going to go up here. This is Copernicus crater right here. So Apollo 12 landed roughly here. Right around here. And the fourth mission, which is the third mission that landed on the moon since Apollo 13 didn't get to land. Apollo 14 landed around here. Roughly in the same area. So we got Apollo 12 and Apollo 14, which are pretty close to each other. Okay, so moving on, now we'll go up to Apollo 15. And Apollo 15 landed, so you got the, I believe this is called the Alpine Mountains, named after, I believe the Himalayas. Something just flew in front, did you guys see that? But anyways, these mountains are named after the Alpine Mountains on Earth, wherever those are, I'm not sure. But Apollo 15 landed roughly, I believe roughly here. Right in the middle of those mountains. If I do this, I can probably see it a little better. I mean, roughly in this dark area. Okay, 1 second, guys. Okay, so now Apollo 16. So Apollo 16 landed, so Apollo 16 was the first mission in the Lunar Highlands. So if we go down here, you got this set of craters, so these sets, you got this kind of bright area. And Apollo 16 landed roughly here. Right, basically right where my cursor is pointing. If you guys can see my cursor. Hey Brody, I have a question about taking pictures on the 21st. Do I need the highest speed on my camera phone? It's something like 1800's the highest. If you're talking about ISO, yeah, I probably would use the highest ISO. And then for your shutter speed, so how long you're taking a picture for, I would use the lowest one, so the most amount of time to collect the most amount of light is what I would do. Okay, so Apollo 16 landed roughly here. Second to last mission. So now going up to Apollo 17, which is the final mission on the moon. 1 second here. So Apollo 17 So going back to Apollo 11 landed roughly here, and Apollo 17 landed right here, right in this little area, about right there. That's where Apollo 17 landed, and that was the final mission for humans on the moon. Now, the reason why they canceled the Apollo 18, Apollo 19, and Apollo 20 was because the previous 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The previous 6 missions were so successful that they didn't need the other 3. So that's why some people say, why weren't there more missions? Is because the 6 missions to the moon were so successful that they didn't need them. It would have just been a waste of money to go back. So there's my Apollo site tour of the moon. So now I'll do a crater tour of the moon if you guys want. One second here. Okay, so see this little kind of circular feature on the moon? This is actually a crater that was filled in. So you see how it's kind of darker here? This used to be lava on the moon, and it eventually cooled. So that's why you get darker regions on the moon. And this circular feature, its name is Sinus Iridium. So an asteroid hit the moon, created this crater, and it must have, I guess, heated up the moon so much that it created lava, and it eventually just filled in. So now it kind of left this like mountainous area here, like a depression. And then same thing with Plato crater, which is this one. Again. So whenever you see craters with kind of like a dark area in the middle, just know that used to be lava, and it eventually cooled. Okay, so, and then this big area that we're in right now, it's too big to fit in my telescope, but this is Mare Imbrium, and another asteroid must have hit the moon, and I guess it was a super big asteroid that, because all the dark spots that you see on the moon, like whenever you look up at the moon in the sky, you see those dark spots. Those technically are craters, which were filled in with lava. So like Okay, this one can fit in my frame here. So this one is called Mare Serenatus, I believe is how you pronounce it. So this used to be a crater that was filled in by lava whenever an asteroid hit the moon. And then here's another one. So this is Mare Tranquillus, where Apollo 11 landed, that I described, which landed here. And I'll show you another one. So this is Mare Crisium. And if you guys remember earlier in the year, I believe it was what was the mission? Okay, sorry about that. So anyway, this is Mare Crisium, and I believe it was I can't remember the mission. It was earlier this year. I believe it's the Blue Fly mission. Blue Ghost, that's what it's called. Okay, so Blue Ghost landed in this mission, in this crater here. I believe it landed around here. So again, another asteroid hit the moon. I guess it was a smaller one, so it created a smaller crater, but it was also filled in by lava. And that's why it's darker than the rest of the moon. And I'm assuming these group of craters are the same. Okay, here's a cool crater right here. So I can center it. Oops. Should probably put my tracking on lunar tracking. I believe it's on sidereal right now. Yep. Alright, let's put it on lunar tracking. Okay, so going to this crater, this grouping of craters here. This is called Messier crater, and it's actually, I guess an asteroid came in at an angle. Okay, this needs to start tracking. So an asteroid came in at an angle. You can kind of see which angle it came in, because there's like this ejecta here, this brighter patch that's like parallel with the crater. So you can probably make the assumption that the crater, or the asteroid that created the crater, came in from this area, hit the moon, and then spread off this material parallel to the crater. And there's two of them, so possibly they could be of different origin, but I would assume that they're the same crater. Or two asteroids, like a moon of an asteroid that hit. But anyways, so this is called Messier crater, and it's named after Charles Messier, which created the famous Messier catalog of deep sky objects that a lot of us amateurs use. So we're going to go down to Tycho crater, which is this one here. So this is Tycho crater, and I believe it's named after, this should tell me. Okay, I can't pronounce that guy's name, but anyways, his name is Tycho. And I believe this crater was formed, I think it was around 300 million years ago. And you can see it must have hit and it spread off this material around the moon, so got a lot of these rays here. So here's some more. A lot of rays coming from this crater. Must have hit with such force that sent these rays flying. I mean, it goes all the way over here. So I find this crater really cool. This is either lava or like a deeper part of the moon. A lot of rays here. This kind of area here. Okay, I'm not gonna try to pronounce that, but anyways, this is probably another crater that got filled in by lava. Now this is a cool crater here. I'm gonna try to zoom in. I don't know if it'll show it. And there's a lot of like fracture lines in this crater. So like you'll see like a bunch of valleys in this crater, which may have been filled in with lava at some point, which I find really cool. Hello, life with. I'm not gonna try to pronounce that. I'm sorry, but yes, this is the actual full moon through my telescope. So thank you for joining us tonight. But this is called Gassendi Crater, and there's a lot of valleys and like fracture lines in that crater, which I find really cool. Coming up to here, this is a really cool crater. I believe this is called Aristarchus crater. So this bright crater is called Aristarchus. And you see these valleys here? If my telescope would stop moving. So you see these valleys here? These valleys were created by lava tubes on the moon. So just imagine the moon with lava. And it carved out these valleys here. And now we're seeing the remnants of those. And I'm not sure why this is so bright. This is a really bright crater. Kind of crater. So maybe it could also be like deeper parts of the moon that this crater I guess dug out. Maybe, and that's why it's so bright. I'm not entirely sure, but anyways, this is Aristarchus crater. Earlier, I'm going to zoom out here. This is Copernicus crater right here. Okay, I need to figure this out. I don't know. I got a lot of backlash in my setup here. So this is a Copernicus crater, and it looks like there's kind of like some mountains here, which I'm not sure how those formed. It's kind of interesting there. What are those mountains called? Montes Carpatus, I guess is what this kind of grouping of mountains is called. And then I showed you guys this earlier. This is the Alpine Mountains here. So you see this line coming up here. I need to move this out of the way. So there's this line coming up here, and these are mountains, which an asteroid came in. So this kind of dark area on the moon, this is called Mare. One second. Mare Imbrium. So this is Mare Imbrium, and an asteroid came in, and it created this crater which was filled in by lava, and as a result of that, it also created these mountains, the Alpine Mountains here. And then up here is the Alpine Valley. So this is a valley in between those mountains here. Not a true valley, and I mean these aren't really true mountains either, like, continental. The moon doesn't have continents, obviously. But anyways, this is the Alpine Valley here. And then again, I explained this was Plato crater. Okay, let me look at the comments here. It's cloudy here. Half the sky was clear when I set up, not so much now. But I'm hoping it'll clear before the moon sets behind the roof in 3 or 4 hours. Yeah, let's hope. SMA sky. What is the difference between a full moon and a new moon? So a full moon is sunlight that is illuminating the entire surface of the moon, and a full moon is also only visible at night. And then the new moon is whenever there's no sunlight hitting the near side of the moon. So, and then it's only visible during the day, so that's why you can't see a new moon during the day. It's because there's no sunlight hitting it. And it's also why we get solar eclipses. Whenever the moon passes in front of the sun, we get a solar eclipse. And that can only happen during a new moon. I think someone just went out on the deck here. This is really shaking. Someone must have just went outside. Okay, 1 second, guys. I'm going to take a break for about 5 minutes. Okay guys, I am back. So, I guess we'll just do a little bit of exploring rather than a tour. It's out there. There's a nice crater. I believe that's called Langrenus crater. This one here. It's right on the limb of the moon. Here's some more craters with some rays. So an asteroid must have hit with such energy that it spread out a lot of material over a large area. I believe there's another crater like that up here. Here's another one right here. So this one, you can kind of see which angle it might have hit from. So it must have came in from this angle. It hit, and then spread all this material. Another crater with rays. There's on this angle, pit. Did you guys see that? There's something that just went across the moon here. So anyways, so the asteroid must have came in from here, hit, and spread all this material. I know there's another crater. It must have been that one. It's around this area somewhere. I'm lost on the moon. Copernicus crater is kind of like that as well. You can see there's a lot of ejecta from it. This one, Copernicus crater, you can actually see the kind of the scar from it with your naked eye if you know where to look. There's another nice crater. That's actually a nice crater with rays. It's a pretty nice crater right there. And then if you've noticed, like some craters, so we got Tycho crater here. You can see it right in the middle of it. There's kind of like this little spot here. This is actually a mountain that was created from the crater. So what happened was, so think of like a body of water. You know how like whenever like a water drop hits water, like creates like a crater and then it bounces up right in the middle? That's exactly what happened here. So what happened was the asteroid came in, hit, liquefied the moon, so it created, usually it creates like a crater, but right in the middle of the crater it shot back up a little bit, and then it cooled, so solidified, and that's why we got a little mountain. In craters. So for example, so Copernicus crater has the same thing as Tycho crater, so there's a little mountain right here. But for example, we'll go with this crater and see there's not really a mountain in it. It's just a normal crater. So it didn't have as much be a mountain in the middle of it. So it's just a normal, simple crater is what those are called. And then craters like Tycho are called complex craters, ones that have mountains in the middle of them. Middle. There's another complex one right there. Here. There's a lot of craters on the south pole of the moon. And then the south pole of the moon. I believe sometime next year is when they're going, actually. This is the crater came in, or the asteroid came in at such a shallow angle that it just kind of scraped into the moon, and rather than just creating a crater in the moon. Nice SMA. Clouds have cleared. It's fun to look at the moon from your area and then also look at it from my area. Oh yeah, that'd be kind of interesting. Even more crazy when I see it and someone on the other side of the Atlantic has seen it too. Oh yeah, that's pretty cool as well. He captures some video of the moon. Then we can stack it and get a sharper picture. Oops. Well, I'm gonna take a video of Copernicus crater and we're gonna stack it. Let me just center Copernicus crater real quick. Oh. Just had it. There. Okay, so we are going to take a 1-minute video of the moon. Okay, so now I'm capturing a video right now. And then after that, we will stack the video of the moon. That's one of my favorite features on the moon, the channels. Imagine what it would have looked like from, oh yeah, that would be incredible to see that from Earth. I know that possibly in 2032 they're predicting an asteroid hitting the moon, that we may actually be able to see like the crater that it creates from Earth. Like I believe they're predicting like the crater to be like 500 meters big or so. Hey Martin, glad to see you here. Okay, so the video finished, so I will stack this in the background. This is kind of an interesting area here. There's also these three craters here. So the left one's called Archimedes. This is Archimedes crater here. The top one here is called Aristillus, I believe. And then this one's called Autolysis. And this little mountain here is called Montes Spitzenberg, apparently. It must be German. Spitzenbergen, my bad. That's called Spitzenbergen, apparently. Okay, so let me stack this video with the moon that we just took. Yep, today is International Observe the Moon Night, apparently. Something that NASA's hosting, so I decided to stream it. If you notice, the moon's kind of shimmering a little bit. That's because the atmosphere, so whenever the atmosphere is stable, the moon doesn't shimmer as much. But when the atmosphere is pretty unstable, it shimmers quite a bit. So tonight it's not, it's like below average. Below average is called the scene. So tonight we're having below average scene. So you can see kind of up here, like it's distorting the moon a little bit. It's also why stars twinkle. When the atmosphere is unstable, the stars twinkle a lot more. scope and camera am I using? I am using the Celestron Edge HD 8 with the ZWO ASI 120 MC. That's your scope, Martin. Yep. It's a very good scope. I'm pretty happy with it. Very 264, nice. Yeah, so the moon is about half a degree in sky. So since I can't fit the whole moon, I just showed you how zoomed in I am and how long it takes me to go across the moon. I believe I'm at what's you? Well, not necessarily. Whatever. You know what I mean? We're pretty zoomed in. So there's the Terminator line, so you can actually see creators that are just catching the glimpse of the sun. So you can see there's that part of the crater's hitting the sun, but the deepest part of the crater isn't. Same thing with here, kind of. I used a 0.7 X reducer, and with the 264 I can just fit the whole moon in the frame. Nice. I think it's kind of cool, like zooming in way close on the moon to see a lot of the fine detail. But I would like to capture the full moon, the full disk of the moon at some point. That's what I like about my 4SE. The mirrorless camera at prime focus, the full disk of the moon takes up just about the whole image, except for the times when the moon is at its closest, then they can go out of frame at the top and bottom. Now that's interesting. That's interesting. When the moon's at its farthest, you can fit it, but once at its closest, you can't. That's also why we have annular and total solar eclipses. In case you were wondering. When the moon's at its closest, you can get a total solar eclipse, but when it's at its farthest, you get an annular solar eclipse. Because the moon is at a 5-degree inclination. Like its orbit's got a 5-degree inclination compared to Earth's. Solar eclipses usually happen about every 6 months. On my streams, I can do the 5x and 10x digital zoom and get up close, but of course, digital zoom is as good as optical. Yeah, definitely. I mean, right now I'm at my fullest resolution with this camera. I'm zoomed out as far as I can get. I'm still just zoomed in. So like I can zoom in 100% right here, and that's what I get. Now I am cropped on my stream, so if I just uncrop it, that's what I get. So we get a little more. Personally, you find lunar eclipses about as exciting as watching the grass grow. I think lunar eclipses are pretty cool, because you can see the Earth's shadow going across the moon. But, you know, solar eclipses are way better. A lot more exciting. If you ever get a chance to see a solar eclipse, I would highly recommend it. Especially in your own country. Like, that's a once in a lifetime experience if you get a solar eclipse in your own country. Like last year on April 8th, 2024, we had a very nice total solar eclipse that was visible through the whole country. But of course, the path of totality it's only in a certain area. But the whole country got to see a partial solar eclipse. But if you're in the path of totality, it's amazing, and I would highly recommend getting to the path of totality. I've only witnessed one total solar eclipse in my life, and you're 71. Wow. Saw a quote by the late Fred Espenick that said, I think it was like, can't remember the quote exactly, but it was telling like the people to go see a solar eclipse, and it was like, take the day off, you know, get the kids out of school. Like this is an event that you'll pass on to your grandchildren. Like, it's that spectacular. See why he says that. That eclipse was great. It was only about 60% here, I think. But we'll have a total eclipse here in 2045. Hopefully I'll have the source go by then. Well, yeah. 2045 will be great, since that's like a 6-minute eclipse in the United States. And I believe the longest total eclipse you can have is around 7.5 minutes. Like anywhere in the world. Like if the geometry is just right, the longest you can have is a 7.5 minute. think the April 8th one was about 4.5 minutes, but we only got 4 minutes when we went to Ohio for it. Great. 2045, I'll be 91. Wow. You'll be in your 60s at 2045. Sounds like such a future date to me. I think I'll be in my late 30s. I think I'll be in my mid 30s for 2045. Hopefully I'll have kids by then. Good shot to the moon, Brody, and thanks for sharing your view and your knowledge. Yeah, no problem, Martin. Just high enough to catch the glimpse of the sun compared to the bottom of the crater there, as well as the rim here of the crater. That's really interesting, actually. Okay, I don't know if I'll be able to stack the moon. This is taking way too long. Okay, see ya, Martin. Thanks for joining. Yesterday, I saw almost a whole crater poking up out of the darkness of the Terminator. Wow, that's pretty cool. can also tell that the moon is a sphere because you got the craters are angled this way. And then when you slew across the moon, you can see they kind of get angled towards us. Facing the other way. And that's how you can tell that the moon is a sphere, not flat, like some people think. Actually, now it's facing the other way. And the reason why we see the same face of the moon all the time is because the same time that it takes the moon to go around the Earth, it also takes the same time for the moon to rotate. So like for the Earth it takes 24 hours to rotate, but on the moon it takes about 29.5 days to rotate, which is the same as its orbital length. So the time it takes to go around the Earth is also 29.5 days. Here's an interesting crater. Look at that. You got like little patches of dark area, which I believe is lava. Cooled lava. So this crater is called Alphonsus crater. Looks like it might be a complex crater, unless that's a crater right there. It's a mountain, so it is a complex crater. There's another little dark patch right there. Right there from a crater, which is right on the limb of the moon. So it must be that half of this crater is visible and the other half is behind. You can also see some mountains poking up here. Let's zoom in on those. See these mountains poking up here? This is kind of an interesting view here. Let's see what else we can see on the limb. Here's some more mountains. Or like hills, kind of. Right there. There's another little mountain. Here's what looks like a crater. Two craters, actually. Right on the limb there. Possibly. Multiple craters, it looks like. Yeah, here we go. Look at this. It's a pretty nice view right there. Got, looks like a little mountain of a crater poking up there. And some craters kind of going in the moon. Right on the edge. Whoops. So this is drifting out of view. How craters are pretty cool too. Like, here's some more simple craters, like I explained, with no mountain in the middle. And AutoStakkert crater does have a mountain in the middle of it. So now we're up at the North Pole of the moon. Again. Got a lot of craters on the Terminator. And there's that one with the mountain right in the middle of it. Looks like it might have changed since we've been observing it. More of the crater's visible now. Possibly. I'm gonna capture a video of this crater. Oops. Capturing a 1-minute video real quick. Oh, compound craters. Okay. So that was my 1-minute video there. Don't know why the video's glitching there. The aliens are taking over. Well, okay guys, it's been coming up on around 2 hours now since I've been live streaming. I think I'm going to end the stream here, guys, so thank you for joining, and I shouldn't actually see you guys tomorrow since tomorrow Titan is going to transit Saturn for the last time for the next 15 years. So I should be live streaming that tomorrow night. Later. Good night, guys.